So, good evening, everybody. How are we all? This is issue 49. I am Penny, and this is my co host, Horlicks. Oh,
Hello, everyone. How is everyone this evening?
I just scared the crap out of myself because I'm actually. Sorry, apologies for that. I actually had the stream running in the background, and obviously, with the delay, I could hear myself what I said 10 seconds earlier as Horlicks said it. Anyway, we always cock up the stream in good fashion.
I do it
Right.
weekly, actually.
Right. Horlicks has. Well, no, I'll tell you what. Let's pretend that I haven't discussed it with you yet. How are you feeling today, Horlicks?
I'm dying. I've got man flu.
Oh, the poor thing.
So I've got a bit of a cough on, and I'm hoping I'll be all right. I'm sucking on um, strepsils like they're sweets. Well, they are sweets, but you know what I mean. And I can't mute the microphone because my thing broke, and I've had to sellotape it all together. So I will try and avoid coughing down everyone's speakers.
Yeah. Well, I have a really big, massive problem today. I have to have 3 cups of coffee on stream because I have my Routemasters mug, which I use for route mastering. I then have my Paint with Penny R2D2 mug, which I got from the lovely Horlicks. And now, to make things worse, I've got a new mug. So don't send mugs because I just can't drink that much coffee in one stream. Right. So, Chris Campling says fishermen's friends work with coughs. My ex-boyfriend had a solution for a bad throat, but that was just his opinion. Right. So I'm going to go through the comments. I'd heard an inkling of this. Johnson Hazel says that there's a problem with tonight's issue 49. When you go to put piece 39C to piece 49A and 49B to the side of the seats, to the wall of the bus, or coming away from the wall of the bus. Right, gotta confess, I haven't looked at I haven't looked at the parts yet. Obviously, I understand what you're saying when you say 49C, A, and B, but obviously, I can't relate that in my head. Welder Mike Anderson has apologised for not being on the show tonight. He completely forgot. So we'll try and get him on the show another week. Probably be about 3 or 4 weeks' time. Love Minnie says hi. Love Minnie says hello again. Johnson Hazel, did you see my so happy New Year to Penny and Horlicks. So happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Daniel Simpson says hello. Roger Kendall says good evening. Roger Kendall, what time we start? 8 o'clock. Always start 8 o'clock, unless I tell you otherwise. Johnson Hazel, what's going on? Right, hasn't been snowing where I am. I don't want it to snow this week. I'm on holiday this week. If it wants to snow on Monday, that'd be brilliant. What's happening about the complaint? Right, as far as I'm aware, nothing. But I think what happens with YouTube is that if someone complains about you, you don't hear anything about it unless you've done something wrong. So obviously, if they review videos and realize if it decides I've done nothing wrong, it won't be taken down or anything. So Fleetwood J has said hello. Apologies if I missed anyone. Daniel Simpson, Dan Simpson. Is that 2 people with the same account, or is there 2 Dan Simpsons? Love minis. You make me cry tears of joy. As long as good people like Penny are on YouTube, it's a good place. Haven't said much about my Lego build since I built it. If you want me to talk about the Lego build, I will talk about it. But obviously, I'd rather crack on with issue 49 to start with. Hello to Chris Campling. Paul says, evening all. Hello, Dave Say. How are you? Dave Milne says
Dave.
hi. Sol says hi. Chris Campbell, get well soon.
Oh, thanks.
Friend.
I'm sure I'll be all
right. David Trapp. All right, everyone. I've just finished 49 now. Bit of a night. I presume that means nightmare, but all pucker. Christine UK says hi. Penny, get well. Horlicks.
Oh, thank you.
Chris Davis says hi. How are you? I'm very well, thank you, Chris. Paul says me, lol. I might have just missed the context of that. Johnson Hazel, yes, please. And Lucas 1945 says hello.
So,
good evening all.
I do apologise. I mean, I should know, but I'm assuming that Johnson is Luigi. Is that right? Can you confirm that? Yeah, I'm sure it is. But I don't know. I'm confused because obviously the YouTube names are different, aren't they, from real names? And
yeah,
I struggle with that.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I don't know if you remember, but obviously, etiquette for me is your name on Facebook isn't the same as it is on YouTube.
Mm.
And obviously, on Facebook, I like to call you by your Facebook name, and on YouTube, I like to call you by your YouTube name.
Yeah.
And it gets a bit confusing at times, doesn't it? Love Minis. Did I see the block build motorcycles on Banggood? No, I didn't. But if you could send me a link, that would be greatly appreciated. Fleetwood J, Chris, no, can't smell them. Only thing is a fishy smell. I presume that's to do with being in Fleetwood, which I assume is a fishing town. So, I don't know. Anyway, dear, would you like to crack on with building?
Yes, let's.
Okay. I'm wondering whether to feel mean and make you talk a lot today.
Oh look, Chris Campley just said, "Did you see that they're selling the R2 as a full kit now?" Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And cheaper as well. It makes your blood boil.
I'm actually tempted to buy it. I've said all along I'm not really interested in buying the half size because I'm building the full size. But Mr. Badley, who does the files for the R2, he's now been doing some modifications for that'll fit onto the half size, like replacement domes, and he's also done the Jabba the Hutt tray. So you can use Jabba the Hutt to bring you drinks, which I've actually been playing with the prints. This glass here, which I printed off, but obviously it needs to be printed off in clear glass. This is a certain IKEA glass, mastic or something like that, but it's no longer stocked. Well, not in the UK anyway. But this is a copy of it. And what you need to do is buy this this IKEA glass, and then print this off in gold, and then you put that into there, and you've got yourself some nice trays for the R2D2. Now I managed to get hold of this glass, but unfortunately it's not the right size. This is an IKEA glass, but as you see, it doesn't fit. But I'm looking. I might even try and modify this. But yeah, it's something that, I mean, it's a cute little glass actually. But I'll see if I can print that off in clear. So Steve Lee says sorry he's late.
No worries.
That's a really good idea, Paul. Now that I have 3 cups, maybe I should ask someone to send me a potty so I don't have to leave the room in the middle of the show. Well, yeah. A commode, yeah. So, one magazine. And we have some big parts and some screws. Oh, I like that. That's a nice little shade of cream, isn't it? I remember someone saying about cream interiors. So, do you want to... Oh, you've already got them. Sorry. You usually find, actually, that buying part... Actually, Model Space do some nice little discounts sometimes. So, I'm not going to be able to put these parts in a parts tray today, am I?
No. Not even your big one you made?
No, not even the big one. So, how many parts have we got?
Looks like there should be 3 lots and, well, and 2 lots of screws. So
Right, well, I got my bag where I can see it. I'm not going to name names, but I went to see someone earlier this week to help them with their build, and I did have to tell them off about their screw organisation. Not mentioning any names, but obviously if they want to come forward. Would you mind if I put the screws in the screw pot first to get them out of the way? So, oh, do you know what? I put my trays in the wrong order. No, I haven't. Sorry, I couldn't find the IP pot. Right. So we have a bag of DP screws. Chris Davies has put his hand up to that one. So big bag of DP screws. How many are we supposed to have in there?
okay, so there should be 27 DP.
Oh, that's a lot, isn't it? Right. So let's find.
Okay, so yeah, Johnson isn't Luigi, so
Okay then.
that's, yeah. So we've been Luigi Knights actually emailed me with the same possible issues. But obviously we just have to see how it goes and address it as and when. That's me, Penny mentioned. Right. Chris, so okay, so you haven't been putting your screws, tidying your screws up?
No, he's a very bad boy. Okay, so there's about 26 screws in the DP. I only counted them quickly, but and how many IPs should we have? These are big. These are both quite large screws.
Legs 11.
Legs 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we've obviously only used them once because, as you can see, I've only got the one spare one in there. Right, so that's my screws ready. So IPs and DPs. So what's the first part then to look at?
Okay, so the left side wall, 49A.
And that's the smaller one of the two. So that will be this one. So plastic part, nicely painted. And we've got this cream bit at the top and we've got a grey bit in the middle. So that's a new colour that we're using, isn't it? I like that. That's nice. Okay. So next part is
49B, which is the right side wall.
Which is a larger one. Oh, this one's actually been sellotaped in, look. So, same as before. Plastic part, grey part in the middle, cream at the top. But obviously it's a little bit larger. So, that should leave us with some
seat fixtures.
Seat fixtures.
And we should have 8.
8. So, I will temporarily use the DP. No, I won't actually. They'll get lost in there. Right. Let's go as we mean on. I tell people off, so let's do it properly myself. Right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are basically 2 holes on one side with a locating peg. Sorry, I need to sort my... I'll sort my focus out in a bit. And on the other side, it's just a 1 screw hole. So, shall we get building then? So is this going to be a long build?
It says here, once the sidewalls are correctly fitted, the seats will be firmly anchored in place and they will help to keep the sidewall rigid. If you did not fit the seats earlier, follow the instructions in issues 44 and 45 to fit them. The rear bench seats should also be in position.
So we've basically recommended that if you've got other people in the house, don't fit the seats. But obviously, because I'm in a position to just leave it up on the shelf, for me that's not needed. So I fitted the seats. Right, so where's my focus point? My focal point is about there. So, right, okay, I've put fixed focus on the camera now. Right, so let us crack on. Could you show us the instructions? There we go.
Yeah. So, fit 5 seat fixtures 49C to the inside of the right side wall 49B, locating the pegs in the holes from the outside, fix in place using 10 DP screws.
Okie dokie. So we have got 5 of these, and just have a look at your. Could you just zoom in on one of those fixings? Right. Okay. I can see why it doesn't work now. Right. I was looking at these, and I was looking at how they go in, and they didn't seem to want to go in well. And then I realised, I looked at the picture. So you're actually working on the side with the paint. So they're going to go in. They're easy. So 2 little holes and the locating peg. The locating peg goes in lower. So they'll go in like that. So 1, 2, 3. I think actually I'm not going to put those in, because looking at the insert part, it looks like we're going to screw them in from this side.
Yeah.
So obviously if I put all 5 of them in, as I turn them over, we're going to lose them. So I'll get out. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, look at that. Exactly 10 fell out. So check your screwdriver fits. So, as always, and this is only my personal preference, I just put the screws in just enough to bite. So then once I've got that second one in, I can carry on screwing. And it doesn't need to be tight. It just needs to be in enough so that it doesn't move. And that one doesn't move. So I'm happy with that. Actually, I think what I might do, I might just put 1 screw in each of the fixings. Just enough to hold it. And then that way I'm going to keep flipping round and round and dealing with the fixing and then dealing with the screw and backwards and forwards. So, any funny stories for us, Horlicks, for the week?
No, I don't think so, actually.
No.
Just been busy.
Yeah. I must admit,
Working and
I've been
fixing.
busier while I've been on holiday than I have if I was working. And what really threw me was, because obviously I'm on holiday and I only get paid for 5 days, I've worked 2 days overtime. So to maximise my income, I work Sunday, and I'm going to be working this coming. I mean, I always work Saturdays anyway. But because I work Sunday when I don't normally work Sunday, Monday felt like a Sunday. It was just really weird and confusing. Hello, Richard. How are you? Have you been missing me, Richard? Right. So all those fixings are in place. In fact, actually, they're in there quite tight.
I suppose the only funny thing I've got to report is that I was convinced my Routemasters issue 32 was going live this evening.
Oh,
And
yes.
I checked,
Yeah.
because Penny messaged me saying, "When's your video up live?" And I said, "Oh, 6 o'clock." And she said, "No, it's not. It's not here. It's not there." So I had a look, and I hadn't even edited it. So I filmed it, But it's actually, as we speak, uploading.
Yeah, see, I was really disappointed because normally, because of the time I finish work, I'm usually rushing home, getting the show sorted out, and I don't get the chance to watch it until sort of 11, 12. But even sometimes after the show, I'm so tired, I'll go straight to bed. So it's not uncommon for me to watch Horlicks' video on a Thursday. And I thought this week I'll actually be able to watch it at 6 o'clock, and it didn't go up.
No,
So sorry to
I don't
say,
know.
but you have ruined my life, Horlicks.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I just don't know where I'm coming or going this week. I was convinced it was ready to go, but
Yeah, it goes like that sometimes. I actually mucked up with my R2 video because I knew I was going to be away on the Monday. Obviously, I wanted to get it all uploaded early, but because I work Sunday, I didn't have time to sort it out. And I'm like, oh, I haven't done the shout outs. So I just put the video up, and I thought I'll do 2 weeks of shout outs next week. But of course, I haven't done the ending either, have I? Right, so there are 5 fixings. Every single one is in really tight, and this particular fixing was actually a really snug fit. So that could have actually push fitted in, no problems. So that's looking nice.
okay.
So are we ready for the next stage?
Yeah. So we need to fit the right side wall 49B to the floor 42A so that the 5 screw sockets are aligned as indicated by the dotted lines. Well, this is quite complicated. At the same time, ensure that the pegs on the outer edges of the seats. Right, okay, yeah, I get it. So we're fitting the sides, lining up the holes along the bottom, and then we also need to make sure that the seats line up with the wall as well.
Okie dokie. So as you've been saying that, I've been doing a test fit, and I've noticed a few little things. So first of all, on the right hand side, you have a notch, which I assume is where the fuel filler is on the chassis. On this side, you do not have a notch. You then have this little part here, sticky out part, but you don't have that sticky out part on the other side. So this little sticky out part is actually going to go over. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera. You see where that hole is there? That's going to go over there. Now you've got a little line along the floor. So what you want to do is, let me see if I can just move my camera in a slightly better angle. Right, line up the little sticky out bit with the hole. Place the wall on, actually touching the floor. Push it into place, and then bring it down, and then you will start to see where the holes are. Do you see the holes on the floor?
Yeah.
So just maneuver it round, and then as a double check, we'll check the fixings actually do touch with the seats. And I suspect that this is now going to strengthen all of this, because this is obviously quite wobbly in the middle. The seats are a bit wobbly, and I think that this is now going to become well strengthened. So shall we give it a go?
Yeah.
Right, so I suspect it's just the first few screws that we're going to struggle with getting them in. Once we've got 2 or 3 screws in, then how many do we need? 5.
5, yeah.
Right, so there's 4 and there's 5. So what I will do, and you might want to add a little bit of support to this, I'm going to tip this up on its side, but obviously I don't want to press too hard, because the only thing keeping that upright is the seats. You see the seats are supporting it on the ground. So I'll just move my camera up a bit. Check the focal point is about there. That's perfect. Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's going to become very strong. So what I will do, I suspect the best thing to do here is to put, oh, hang on. Right, I'm going to put a screw on the outside there. Then I'm going to put a screw on the outside there, and I'm going to work my way in the middle. And no, I haven't. Right. So, but I'm not going to tighten them up fully. The looser we keep these, the more flexibility we've got. So that is missing, which obviously means I'm not lined it up properly. There we go, that's in. Now I am being mindful that there is apparently the issues here, the problems. So right, that's missing. Ah, there we go. Both of these screw holes I've missed, and that's because I haven't quite lined them up. Obviously, it's a little bit of precision involved. So with those, you see that I haven't put those in properly because you've got that gap. That's intentional. So then I'll go for the next outside one. Oh, and that one's gone straight in because these two are kind of up.
Hang on a minute, Penny.
Yeah.
Just double check something.
Yeah.
If you look at the bottom left image, there is some bits that need to line up with the bottom as well.
Yes. Yes, that's these. Yes. Right. There's actually 6 points that need to line up. There's these
Under
5 screw holes here. There's this part here. And I think I mentioned it. There's also the seat supports there that we've just put in.
Yeah, and then under the seat as well.
Under the seat as well.
That's what I mean. The bottom left picture on stage 2, you'll see what I mean. Underneath the seat, there's some sort of lugs.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Right. Okay. And that's the beauty of not putting the screw in really tight. Right. Okay. No. I think they will line up. Yeah. They're not. What they are, they're little guides.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know how well. I need to get some light in here. Right. There you go. I'll be able to show you on this one. So what you've got there, there's not screw holes. They're just little C's, really. So what's going to happen is, and you've got two, I'll show you on here. See on the bottom of the seats, you've got those 2 sticky out lugs, and one's actually a little bit longer than the other. And what's going to happen is if you get it right, that lug is going to go
into there.
That lug is going to go in. I thought it'd be a really good idea to take the screwdriver head out. Right. So the lug will go in, and then that won't be able to get outside of that. Obviously, if you put the lug in like that, but I think if you don't get them in the lugs, you won't be able to screw the seat to the support. And if you don't screw it to the support, you won't. Do you know what I mean? The two are. But we'll see how it goes. But what I'm going to suggest here, I'm not going to do these screws up fully. Because by not doing them up fully, you see I've got movement. So if I need to manipulate, we know that the next stage is going to be lining up seats and putting the seats in. So what I'm going to suggest that we do is that we put these screws in just enough to bite, so they're not very tight, but they're in. And then we move on to the next stage, and then we go back to this stage to tighten up these screws. Yeah? Does that make sense?
And then we can sort of work from one side to the other and then tighten the screws along the bottom as you go.
What I would be worried of is if I'm trying to manipulate this seat in and I'm wiggling this and it's in really tight, because it's only made of plastic, I could snap that side off. But by having it in, you see that I'm quite safely moving that around quite a lot. And that's because the screws aren't even half in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that means that we need to move on to stage 3.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Right. So let's have a look at stage. Does that make sense to everyone, guys? Don't put the wall in properly, because that will give you room to manipulate. If you tighten those screws in really, really tight, that wall will go solid, and then you've got to, because we've all said that the seats are all out of a line, but we said that that will all sort itself out. Something rude about having tight screws. You would know, Richard. Makes loads of sense. Good, good, good.
right, so inside the bus, check that the upper holes in the brackets on the sides of the right-hand seats are aligned with the seat fixtures, 49C, fitted in step 1. Fix in place with 5 DP screws. The inset shows the front 2 brackets in place.
Okay. So while you were reading that out, you know full well I was doing this anyway, but I was getting my screws ready. So I don't know if there'll be one that's going to be easier to work with than the others. I would suspect the middle one would be the easiest one to start with and then work a way out. Would you agree?
Well, I think, I don't know. I think it would
No,
be
I don't know
same
either.
difference.
Saying that, that middle one is just manipulated quite well. Right, now I have a query. We have 2 holes on, I'll show you on this side. We have 2 holes on the seats, but we only have one position to screw them into. Why is that? Does anyone have an answer to that?
Yeah,
Looking at the magazine, that is correct.
yeah. I'm wondering if we
Unless
do get a
something
back
else is going to
panel.
go.
I reckon we do get like a back panel that we clip in.
Well, I think that is going to be the inside, because if it wasn't, why would they paint it all nice colours? See, this side is a shitty paint job, but it's not going to be on show.
Oh no, I meant on the back of the seats. Maybe there'd be something to cover the screw holes, and then it uses
Yes.
that hole as a locating peg or something.
But there's only one screw hole. You'd have to connect it to. I don't know. Should we just crack on with it?
Yeah,
Right.
we're
So,
speculating already. We've even
yeah,
finished the build.
that's what we do.
I know, I love
That's
it. I love
what
the
we
speculation.
do. Now, right, guys, we are going to have a problem with the other side, because I can get this in without too much bother. So I've got the screwdriver in a knife. Right. So I'm going to hold that like that. I'm going to hold that like that. And I'm going to come in with the screw. And you can see I'm having some bother, but not too much bother to get that screw in.
Maybe,
Do you know what? I might actually shunt this.
maybe when we do the other side, you might have to use the screwdriver that came with it.
Yes, because obviously I've got all this room here, but when I turn this round, that's going to be a back wall there. Although I might be able to get in through the window. Right. So I've disagreed with people before about shunting my screwdriver. Where I've tried to go into a small space, people have gone shunt it. But when you shunt it, you still get that large bit there. And also when you shunt it, because it's longer, it's a lot more unstable. However, for this particular case, I would say, yeah, shunt it. But I struggled with that one. So that middle one, I think it is probably easier to do the middle one. So I'm just going to check it, and you can't see what. Yeah. Oh, sugar. Do you know what? if I had £1 for every time I knocked my screwdriver holder over, I don't think I'd ever have to go in work again. Assuming I could live off £3 a day. Right, and I have actually lost a bit. Never mind. Oh, no, there it is. Right, sorry guys, I do apologise for that. Right, so
I do that all the time. I think we're gonna have another meeting.
Yeah.
Change it because mine keeps.
Well, I've been looking at making a screwdriver section for my drawers, where you see where I've got all these trays. Most of the screwdriver bits will fit in. So obviously that won't fit in shunted, but so I'm thinking about adapting these to put my screwdriver in it. Anyway, that's changing the subject. So what I have done is, good job is no windows, but use the side, have your thumb on the seat, manipulate it around until it locks into those two bits at the bottom. I don't know if you can see. It's really hard to see, but basically those two tabs there have locked in, right? Now on mine, this screwdriver hole there, the hole for the screw, is ever so slightly out. Oh, get your screw lined up, obviously. Unless you've got 3 arms, which I suspect most of you haven't. Right, so line up
that's a good
that.
idea.
What's that?
Sorry, Terry. Terry just said hello, Terry. By the way, said that when you do the other side, you could extend the screwdriver and stick the screwdriver through the window.
Yeah, we'll come in through that window. Right, so I'm going to need my index finger as well. Right, there we go. So I need to get that screw. It's almost like this screw is just ever so slightly larger than the hole it wants to go into. So far I'm rating this issue easy but fiddly. Yeah, I'm really struggling here. I might have to resort to blue tack because I'm moving that screw on the head. Can you still see me, guys? I'm focusing on this so much. I'm not checking the monitor.
Yeah, Chris, Chef thought it's amazing, isn't it?
I'm going to cheat. Just going to use a little round file just to make that hole ever slightly bigger. It won't show because the screw head will cover that. Just made sort of a bit of a bevel. There we go. Oh, I thought I had it then. There we go. That's gone in. Whew. So yeah, I'm going to struggle on the other side, aren't I? So maybe this is actually, for a change, well thought out. Because we're doing the larger side first, because they're going to be easier. Once that wall is in, the other side's going to become harder. Right. So, that's not quite in properly. There we go. So just double check that, because that didn't quite line in properly. That's probably why you couldn't see it before. Just there where my thumb is. You do need to be an octopus. Hello, Izzy. How are you? Right. So we are now well practiced on this, aren't we? So we'll try the third one. But do you notice how the seats are now well lined up? These ones are slightly out of place. These two have lined up nicely. I think they look really nice now. Just those two. So, right, that one's lined up. And oh, I thought that was going to go straight in. See, because this screwdriver's shunted, it's not stable, which is making it slightly harder. Go on.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Chris, as
Go
well.
on. What's that?
Well, I suppose those of you who haven't fitted the seats yet, you could fit those seats to the wall first before putting the wall on with the seats on, because then it'd be easier to line them up.
That's a possibility. Right. Because this one, we didn't get them in properly, I haven't put that screw in fully. So then I'll just check that is lined up, which it is. So the thing is, though, when we do the other side, how easy is it going to be to check those seats? Are we going to have the vision? Right. That screw can go up more, but I daren't because it's plastic.
Well, Chris suggested doing that with the other side.
Do you know what? I have actually gone in too much. Right, I've screwed that too much. Don't know if you can see that, but I've just broken the screw. It's solid, but the little bit at the top has just split. I don't know if that's because the screw hole hasn't been been cut big enough, but obviously you have the circle there where the screw goes in. What's happened is where I've tightened it, it's really thin there, so it's just split open a bit. So right, should we do the front one or the back one next?
I don't know. Back.
Let's do
the back one looks more skewy.
This is the one I don't like. Because you sit on that one, you're a bit susceptible to pranks from the people on the bench seats. There we go, that's it. Right, what have I got? Hopefully I put 6 screws in instead of 5. Oh, this is a hard one. She says as it goes straight in with no bother whatsoever. There we go. That one's gone straight in. The seat's in place. The lugs are in. That's nice. Whew. Do you know what? I have, since I've been back yesterday, because I turned all my heating off when I went away. And I come back to a really cold room. Now, I know my room well enough that it's not a good idea to bang the heating on full, because then it gets too hot. So do you know, I think that hole is actually too small for the screw. I think that's going to split. So I'm just going to run that file in there. I have no way of telling you how I know, but that just feels that hole has been drilled slightly too small for the screw. I think that's why that one split. Or maybe it split because I put the file in there. Oh, I'll show you that in a bit, Chris.
And they are DPs, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. Right. Okay. This is a struggle for some reason. It doesn't want to go in. There we go. Now it's in. Yeah. It's not pulled that wall to the seats. So I'm just going to put this screw in just ever so slightly because I don't think it's going to go in well. Quite why that is, I don't know. I'm really not looking forward to the other side because I've got all this working room and I've lost all that once I get this side in. Okay, so that screw is just in enough. Right, there we go. So they're lined up now. Whew. and that's still lined up. That doesn't want to stay in there well. Trying to, don't know if you can see, that's not sitting in there that well. It might change once I tighten the wall up, but this, tell you what, this back bit, that's still not going to get any stronger because like, there's nothing fixing to it. That worries me. Right, so shall we get this wall in properly?
Yeah.
It might even pull the seats all into the wall properly. Oh, right, that one, that's cut right through. I seem to get that sometimes with the plastic screws. It just keeps going and going. It'll stay in there, but it's, you know, when you get to that point where it's in nice and tight and then you just screw a little bit more and it kind of cuts it and then it'll never find that bite point then. Over tightened, I think is the word I'm looking for. I don't like this back. It's so fragile. So we're still having to be careful with this. Right, so without seeing the wall, you can now see which side I've done, can't you? You see how the seats have all lined themselves up properly. So, yeah, I don't think we had anything to worry about that. What I would like to do, can we assume that the next stage is exactly the same as what we've just done, but on the other side?
I haven't looked that far yet.
Shall we try and what I'm thinking is if it's exactly the same, shall we try an experiment and try Chris's method? We'll remove the seats, we'll put the seats into the wall and then attach the wall and then line the seats up.
Yeah, we could try that.
Okay, does that sound good, fun guys?
But, yeah, as Sol says though, be extra careful because you may be able to, like, I think it'd be easier to over tighten them if it's an easier angle.
Because what I'm now thinking is I've got to come in through these windows now. I can't, it's difficult to work like that. So I think if we do, if we try Chris's suggestion, because if we're attaching the seats to the wall, we've got all this workspace. We can manipulate it around, we can check it. Then all we've got to do is just put 4 screws on. So I'll check the wall fits first before we go any further, because I don't want to do all of that work. And if it doesn't work out, then we'll put it all back together and we will just do it as per the magazine. So, let me see which way round this wall goes, because there's obviously going to be a gap. Right, so it's this wall is going towards the front, so it's going to leave a gap between the back. So that is going to go in lovely, methinks. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Are we happy with that? Right. So I need a separate pot because obviously I'm going to remove the seats, and I need some workspace. Now let's do the wall first. So I'm just going to pop this to one side nice and safe. So we need to put the, what are these called again? The fixings?
They are the seat fixtures.
Right, and they're going in with DPs, aren't they?
DP screws, yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Steve just said we made his Auntie Noreen's day when we told him that the little red blobby thing is for the diff at the left back seat. She's been asking.
Okay.
So thanks.
What about the blobby bit for the diff?
Yeah.
Why there a gap? I don't know. So they can make more money out of us by giving extra parts?
Does the Routemasters have a door halfway down as well as the back?
No, not anymore.
No.
Maybe, Chris, that's where the expression mind the gap came from.
Maybe it's in two parts to make it easier to fit.
Could be. I think it's just Hachette trying to make more money. If they made this part the same length as the other one, then this would be complete in 129 issues.
Mm.
That was a joke, by the way. My blobby. Right. Do it this way around. Just feels a bit easier. Right. Oh, screwing that one in round corners. Is Dave Say still here? We shall ask. Dave Say, are you still here? Right. So that's the fixings in place. Right. So I'm going to go. So this is the part we're going to do differently. So I'm going to put the seats into my tray, and I'm going to put them in order. This one will be the back, and this one will be the frontmost seat.
So what are you going to do? Just remove the 3 seats?
Oh yeah. Good point. Yeah, I don't need to remove them all, do I? Yeah. I don't know why I was going to remove all of them. Right. I don't know if this will work for the next section. And I am still being aware that there might be we don't understand where the issue is, the problem. But obviously we're aware that we might need to get the super glue out. It could just be a problem with someone's issue. Can you go, guys? You can't see what I'm doing, can you? I'm not a big fan of unscrewing things, especially in plastic. But if it all goes tee up, then I'll just have to buy another issue. So all in the name of science. So I'll pop this. Oh, that looks bare now, doesn't it? That looks awful. Right, so that needs to go into there, and that should line up there. And these are IP screws for the seats, aren't they? No, they're DP screws.
DP, yeah.
DP screws.
So I was saying, if you take the seats out, you run the risk of breaking the seat screw holes like you just did, as they will bend about during fitting.
What you mean these?
Yeah, he's not done this issue yet. It's just thinking ahead. Dave says there's a gap because of the rear platform.
Yeah, I don't understand that one, I'll be honest with you. Because this gap is halfway up the bus and the rear platform is at the back. But Dave is far more knowledgeable than I am. Right.
Andy M's just come on. Why are we taking the seats out? So to fit them, it's a little bit awkward, isn't it? We've done one side.
I'll do a recap after.
Yeah,
I think that would be easier. Yeah.
This is just an experiment. See if it makes life a little bit easier.
Yeah. So actually, we could have actually had the advantage goes to the people who didn't put the seats on, because maybe they had kids running around and they didn't want the seat exposed. They are loose because obviously there's no way to fix them there. But I think with a bit of care, this might actually be the best method. I'm quite confident. I'm not always right, you know that. But also it means that I can put the screw in first. I don't think that screw hole split because the hole wasn't cut big enough. I think it was me screwing it. I think I actually made the mistake. Right. Because this is quite thin plastic, there's movement, and you can't tell if it's movement because it's thin or because the screw's not in tight enough, but we will find out. Right, so just to recap, each of these seats go into a little C shape there, and they line up there, and then they're screwed by one screw to the wall. Obviously, they're also screwed to the bottom bit. So let's see if this idea has worked. So right, what are we screwing the wall to? I don't know if it'd be easier to put the seats back in. Do you know what? I think that's a better way. I'm going to put the wall screws in just halfway like I did before. Then I'm going to put the seat supports in on the bottom. Then I'm going to do the... So, yeah, sorry. Can you remind me what did we screw the wall in with?
IP from the bottom.
IP screws. So we need 4 IPs. So I'll get those ready. I hope this works.
Looks like you need a mop and bucket as well, and a cleaner for that bus.
What's that?
Looks like someone needs to go on the bus with a mop and bucket as well.
What, on my bus?
Floor's really dusty.
Oh, yeah. It's because it's been sat in my lovely tidy room.
That's bound to happen, isn't it? It was part of it, isn't it? Oh, well, I know it's supposed to represent a brand new bus out of the factory, but...
Well... Oh, there we go. So that one's just going in enough until it bites, which it doesn't want to bite. There we go. And then being careful here because I don't want to let go of this. Because obviously it's only supported by one screw that's not in fully. Come on, you bugger. Right. Just want to give that another half turn. Right. That's gone in perfectly. Dave Fenn is stuck up for me there. He said it's weathering. Oh, now this screw. Oh, it wasn't lined up. There's a little sag in it. No, that's not going in. Why is that not going in? That's interesting. This screw, it's not going in. It's like the hole in the wall is too big to take the screw. Right.
That isn't... You haven't picked up one of the different screws for the bottom of the seats, have you, by mistake?
No, because I put the seats in the bottom of the screws in the bottom of the seats in the pot.
Ah, okay.
I'll try a different IP screw, but I don't think that's the reason. It's probably a manufacturing. In all fairness, if it is a manufacturing defect, I don't have a... It is IP we're putting in, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, I've ended up with a completely different screw there. Look at that. They're not the same, are they?
No.
That's interesting. Right, so I've put, I don't know how, that must have just dropped. Yeah, see now that's going in perfectly. Okay, so thankfully we get spare screws. So whatever that screw is, that's no good to me now because I have absolutely no idea what it is. So even my brilliant, perfect sorting system hasn't sorted them out properly. Right, so just going to have a quick puff on my not marijuana. Right, so as someone's just said, moment of truth. It's going to be quite hard to hold them. Right, I think what I'm going to have to do is push a screw through. Then, there we go. Sorry, I'm knocking the camera there, aren't I? Now, I'm actually holding the front of the bottom against my body. Ah, right. So as you screw that screw in there, it's kind of pushing the second leg back into place. So that should go straight in, which it is. Right. So now those two have pulled into place. So they're there already. So I'm actually going to do the front one next because this second one there isn't going to need, you see it's pulled itself in. So that's not going to need a lot of effort. So we'll do the harder ones. Oh, now that one I've what's the word I'm looking for? Threaded it. That's why I don't like removing screws.
I think you had a seat that did that anyway, so that could have been the same one from previous
Okay,
issue.
fair enough. One of the screws has gone in really tight, so I'm not overly worried about it. And then this one should go straight in. But you can see from the screws, they've actually got bits of plastic all around them from where it's cut in because they're self-tapping. And voila, that is done. So, just to recap, what we have done for the benefit of those that came slightly later, we took the wall piece, we then put in these support bits. We then put the wall on, but I didn't put the screws in fully tight so that it was a little bit more flexible. We then manipulated the seats into the lugs at the bottom and then screwed them in. But we were struggling because obviously you see how big the screwdriver is. And we knew that once we came to the other side, we're going to have this wall is going to be in the way. So we'd have to shunt the screwdriver and come in through the windows. But that went in fine. But what we did on this one was we actually took the seats out. We attached the seat to the wall and then brought the wall in. And I personally think that second method was easier to fix them to the wall and then bring the wall in. However, you've got to be aware that these screw holes are weaker because there's already been a screw in. So I would say if you were one of the ones who didn't put seats on, you know, we had like this bit here where it says if you haven't put the seats on, put them on now. There, I would say put them onto the wall and then bring. Let me double check. Yeah, I did screw the middle seat in. So yeah, I would say screw them to the walls if you haven't already screwed them to the floor. What do you think, Horlicks?
Yeah, I think it does look like a good idea.
I mean, at the end of the day,
it seems to make it look easier.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's your build. You do it however you want. If you want to follow the instructions to the letter, that's absolutely fine. But I think because you haven't got, once you've got this wall on, you haven't got a lot of workspace. You put both walls on, you can see how. Sorry, that was an accidental rude thing. The fine. Yes, I put all of the screws in, Chris.
Yeah, no, what he's saying is, I mean, I'm waiting for it. You need to screw the wall, the side wall down.
I have. I'm sure I have.
The one, or yeah, that one.
Oh, sorry, Chris. I do apologise. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, okay. Sorry. But it just goes to show that I didn't, it's that much of a good build. I didn't actually notice because it was solid enough. Right, so do not do what I'm about to do at home. Oh, that's really solid. That is actually really solid. I mean, obviously you've got the flexibility because you've got nothing there. It's three sides of a box. But that's really good. I mean, look, I don't know if you can see it. But you can clearly see that the point that it's giving is actually the middle of the floor. It's not giving around the walls, is it?
No.
That's how solid it is. Yeah, Chris, what would I do without you? So, yeah, I'm really happy with this now. Well, I wasn't not happy with it before, but you know what I mean. So, what did everybody think? Andy M says he used a small Hachette screwdriver and it was easy. I suspect it would be because it's about that long. So it's one of the few instances where a cheap Chinese EM screwdriver is actually the best option. So yeah, actually that's. But I've got my screwdriver somewhere. But because I don't use it much, it kind of gets buried. Yeah, so I'm going to switch my camera view. Sorry, I apologize. I should have changed cameras before. I have to move my camera now. I've got it mounted in the corner. So when I'm working, when they've got the overhead there, obviously you can see it. So I have to kind of just push it away. But it tucks away really nice. Biggest problem I've had this week is these issues arrived nearly 2 weeks ago, but I missed the postman, so I had them redelivered. Went down to the newsagents and he couldn't get at them. Went the next day, he still couldn't get at them. The following day, I then managed to get there. Well, the post office was officially open, so I didn't actually pick them up until like nearly a week after they'd been sent. And so I've had them a week. So I haven't finished all 3 cups yet. I'm about 1.5 cups through at the moment. So yeah, I've been sitting on 2 issues. In fact, I got them. Right, okay, Dave has explained why we've got the gap in issue 50. Yeah, as you all know, I don't like to see issues too early. So I'm not interested in issue 50 yet. Now I'm interested in issue 50 because I've now finished issue 49. So I've had these issues sitting in a box, restraining myself from having a look. So that's been a bit of a bit of a challenge for me. And you've gone very quiet, Horlicks. Are you still okay?
I'm fine. Yeah, just slowly
Yeah,
dying.
just slowly dying. Well, if you could not die before 10 o'clock, that would be appreciated.
No.
Steve Lee has just commented on the Routemasters Cup. This came with, is it the fifth delivery? I'll tell you something interesting. These two cups, they both hold exactly the same amount of liquid. Yeah, it is hard. But I've already got issue 50. So the issue I've used today, that is my newsagent's copy. And but what it means is I'm now at the stage where if my newsagent's issue comes in a day or two late, it won't affect the show on the Wednesday because I'll just use my subscription copy. Obviously the first couple of weeks, but yeah, it's good. So I've got copies coming. So we have a bus that looks like a bus now, don't we?
I think
Really appreciate it.
I think it's brilliant because if I was in your situation, I'd be thinking, oh, I'm going to get issue 50 out now and carry on.
Oh, do you know what? It is really tempting. You know, I know ways to open that packaging and then repackage it so that you won't notice. But I think part of this, you know, like I've said before, different people offer different things to YouTube, and what I'm trying to offer is I'm seeing this for the first time. So if I come across a problem, all the things like didn't expect that, you're getting them with me. Some of you guys are, and also it means that people, shall we do issue? No, we can't do issue 50 because we'll have nothing to do next week, will we? Very tempting, but yeah,
So I just need to find. Sorry, I need to find out from Johnson. Obviously, you mentioned about glue and issues and things. To me, it
yeah,
didn't
I'm
look like there was a problem. Is this? Do we know what this is, or
yeah, I'm wondering if it's the. Hang on, let me go back because he said about putting A to C and to. Right, well, 49A and 49B are the walls, and 49C are the fixings. Sorry, I've just been told to look at my phone. I did see you send a message, and I assumed it was. Ah. Love Minis has just made sure that I will never be rich again. Whoa! 608-piece race truck car, 2-in-1 transformable model, 23.99. Oh, I'm never going to have money ever again in my life. I'm only building one side of one, so it's easy to see inside. I like that. That's a good idea, Paul. I also like. I wouldn't know how to begin to do it, but wasn't there someone who's doing a single deck version? And I'd be interested to know how that would work out. I assume you'd do the roof of the ground, obviously, which is the bottom of the top, and then you'd put the roof in from there and probably glue it in or something, or some kind of welding. I don't know. Anyway, should we have a look at next week's?
yeah?
Okay, so the rear side walls are fitted and secured to the seats and floor of the lower deck. Do you have the actual picture as well, Horlicks, or do you want me to use my magazine?
No, the picture is here.
Okie dokie. So we are.
So that
So
looks like
that's.
those two seats
Well,
where the gap
yeah.
is.
I'm guessing we're going to do the same as before, except that this short one is going to go there, and this long one is going to go there. And I wonder if it's like the Lego principle. When you build if you, I don't know if you ever noticed, but when you build, even if you're building up, you never have, you know, the gap between two bricks. You never have that gap in the same place. It's always like a brick wall. So you'll place 2 blocks there. The next one will go there. Even if you have to put a little farty one there and there. Let me get, there you go. I'll get my Lego bus out. It's not really any good examples on this. But basically, you'll never get the gap between 2 bricks in the same place. And by, if you have, oh, I haven't quite got enough space. So if you have the gap there on the left side and the gap there on the right side, you haven't got a weak point in the middle. The weak points, because obviously the weak points are always going to be where 2 pieces join. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing it's going to be the same as this issue, but we're working further back. Would it spoil it if I actually got issue 50 and showed you the packaging without opening it? What do you guys think? Or do you want to leave it as we normally do? I have the ability to take advantage, but I don't want to spoil it. And I will leave that question with you for a bit. Steve Lee is now depressed because I was always behind your video issues, but since Christmas, I'm now 4 issues in front. Right, okay. Dave Mills seen it on Facebook. Johnson says yes, it would. So is that yes, it would spoil it? And with Fleetwood is saying, right, okay. I'll tell you what we'll do then. I don't want to spoil it. If it spoils it for one person, that's too many. So what I will do is I will show you the issue, but I will show you at the end of the stream. Then that way we can engage now. I've only got about another half an hour. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone. You know,
No.
I mean, I've had arguments because I don't like. It's like when that issue came out on a Friday and people were posting it all over Facebook, and I really don't like it. So, you know, I would be a hypocrite to show you, and someone's going, well, that's going to spoil it. So, yeah, I'm not going to show it. I'll show it at the end. But there's nothing stopping that.
Oh, you've muted, I think.
Hello. Hello, I'm just going to.
Yeah, there you go. You're back.
Okay. Right. Okay. Fair enough then. Right. So, yeah, some people are saying let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. Most of us know what's in issue 50, so it doesn't make any difference. Johnson Hazel says, right, I don't remember what I was going to mention on here. I know we were going to go through the Lego bus because Johnson asked me about the Lego. Sorry, James, I haven't been ignoring you. Right, hinges. My bad. I keep forgetting. I can't put it on there because I've now put a paper bus on there. Sorry about this, guys. This is your hinges, James. I just keep forgetting to do it. So I will do that tomorrow, and I'm going to get the screwdrivers out as well. So again, I'm sorry, guys. I haven't been doing the screwdriver. Haven't done the screwdrivers. Right. So one Lego bus. I'll use the top camera actually. So this bus cost, I think, £130. As you can see, it comes with a choice of number plates. I didn't opt for these ones because these look like modern number plates. So I put the black number plates on because they're more fitting with the times. correct me if I'm wrong, Horlicks. This took me about 8 hours to build. Did I do eight single streams?
No, I don't. No, I don't think so. You did it in little sections in the magazine, didn't you?
Yeah,
I think you did over three or
sure it
four.
was. Yeah, but I think they were about 2 hours each, weren't they? And we took a break after each one.
Yeah.
So roof comes off, so you can have a look inside. I don't know if you can see there, but you got nice little scuff marks on that seat. You've got a newspaper in the back. You've got a Coke can at the front, and the top comes off. Did I find it easy? I'm going to sound a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a negative word. I found it easy, but I made some mistakes. But the reason I made the mistakes was I rushed the book a little bit where I didn't quite read the instructions properly. You know, if I'd have put this bit there, which that's close, it looks all right, but then that might not fit on properly. So really, it's just a case of if you follow the instructions, I don't think it's very hard at all. It took me about 8 hours to build, and it tends to take me a little bit longer when I'm doing stuff on stream than to do it. If I just sat down and did it, I'd probably have done this in about 6 hours. Obviously, if you're doing it with someone or you're doing it for someone, it's going to take longer. So it actually did. I was going to do a one or 2 hour stream a week, and I think I even streamed on days when I wasn't meant to be streamed, because I have a couple of days off a week where I don't stream at all, and I just went, yes, sod it, let's have a stream and do some of the bus. I like the adverts because they come off and you can change them so you can have different. But I like the biscuits because I think the biscuits are very. Oops, my top decks just fell off. So there is a lighting kit for this as well, which is not cheap. But I've seen the video on how to do it, and now that I know how to use the Arduino, I'm thinking possibly about making my own lighting. And be careful how you hold these, because as you can see, I'm pulling mine apart. So yeah, no, I didn't think it was difficult. This was my first. Yes, I will be putting lights on. This was actually my first ever Lego build, funnily enough. And I've just noticed. No, I haven't. I thought I'd lost the hubcap, but I don't think it came one on the back. So yeah. What are you up to, Horlicks? You've gone all computer screen on us.
Oh, of course. No, it's because I shut the manual down. That was all.
Yeah, let's see your lovely face then, Horlicks.
There we go.
That's
I wouldn't
better.
say it was lovely.
To be honest with you, I don't know. What do you think? Am I being condescending? Is it patronizing? I don't know. Or maybe I'm more technically minded. I don't know. Right, Ian Bedson has said that he's done 49 as per instructions. So, Ian, how did you get on with once you've got one wall in? How did you get on doing the other side with that wall already in place? Was it difficult? Were we over worrying? Oh, you can't have a look at the box it came in because the box. Have you got the box, Horlicks?
Oh, for the Wilco bus?
For the Lego bus?
No, not Lego. I've got the Wilco blocks bus box.
Because what box did I send? Let's call it a care package and squirty jellies in.
That was the blocks.
Oh, that was the blocks, was it?
Yeah, you got me because
Oh,
I couldn't get it in my Wilco's because they discontinued it, and then
yeah, but
you
I
got it.
also sent you some
Jellies.
jellies, didn't I?
Yeah, but you didn't
Anyway,
tell me they
ah,
explode when you try and open them.
yeah. No, well, they don't when you open them properly, Horlicks. No, I don't know. They probably did. Right. Right. As you may be aware, when we did the quiz, Chris Campbell, well, you all had a choice of a print. So Chris chose a unicorn. So I found this on Thingiverse. I did it with new experimental tree supports. It was so much less supports to pull off, and most of it, the way that normally what happens when you do supports. Let me find a blank bit of paper. If you've got a shape, right, let's say you're doing a T shape like that. So obviously it needs to build supports up. So what it's going to do, it's going to print that bit as normal, but it will put in lots of little lines. So each layer will look like that. So what you'll actually end up with is this. And then when you've finished, you pull all of that away, but it'll still leave quite a scruffy bit on the bottom. Yeah, I've done this on tree support. So what it actually does, looking at it from the side, it'll build the support up just small, and then it'll branch it off, and then it'll branch it off again to wherever is needed. And that's how I did it. So, but unfortunately, the supports on the bottom failed. But I thought I'll go with it, and I just tidied it all up. And I think I can fill that because obviously the belly's going to be smooth. But the guy who designed this, I love the base more than anything because Lego bus, yes, definitely worth the money. It's really, really expensive, but it is definitely worth it. Oh, yeah, I'm going to put that question to you guys. Because the Hachette screwdriver is quite cheap and weak, do you think we might get another one in a later issue? Yeah, now what this is actually a remix of a horse. And the reason it spoke to me was the guy described it as the best horse model on Thingiverse with the best horn. And what the guy has done is he's taken this horn and he's put it onto a horse. It is just a horse. And I saw it and I thought, right, I'll give that a go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it probably white. Um, and then I don't know if I'm going to do the main rainbow coloured. What do you reckon, guys? That's a little bit too detailed. And then I'll do a rocky base. And but I did this on the absolute finest quality I could, which is 0.05 millimeters. But see how well it's come out.
It looks lovely.
And of course, we've got shiny base. So I'm going to do my absolute best to not touch this base. I'm not going to scratch it or anything. And I'll just keep it. I was originally thinking maybe get a piece of green fabric on there, but I think that looks really nice like that. So but yeah, when you get your good bed level, that's what you're going to end up. Well, that's on glass anyway. So but yeah, that's your unicorn. And I did it in black. I've got to confess, I did it in black because I had a roll of filament that I wasn't using, and I couldn't see me using it for a while. So I just use it just to use up some filament. But that took about 20.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's fine. That took about 26 hours to print. It was originally meant to be 22, but for whatever reason, it took 26. But that result, I'm really happy with it. So, and of course, the slower you print something, the less filament you use per hour. So your filament lasts longer. So, yeah. But I'm really happy with it. I hope you are as well, and I hope Cheryl will be. But it's not going to look anything like that. It's going to be what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime it grey, and then I'm going to build the whites up gently so that you're going to have shading in it. Nearly dropped it then. So hopefully it'll be grey to white depending on what area. Have I seen anything I want to print 3D print you, Chris? No, because you've not really given me any ideas. If people give me ideas, I can find something and print it. But I wonder if I'm actually doing a commission at the moment. I don't know if many of you remember, but I started doing Longclaw, which is Jon Snow's sword. And someone said to me the other day, "What's happened to your Longclaw sword?" And I said, "I've really not had the chance to do it." And he says, "Okay, fine. Well, I'll pay you to do it then." So I'm being paid to do it. So I'm doing. Oh, tray for the screws. Yes, that's right. Yeah. I told Chris off about organising his parts. So I said that I was going to print these off for him. Control holder for remotes. Oh, yeah, I think. Yeah, that's the trouble with Thingiverse. There's too much. There's way too much stuff on there, and you want to print everything off at once.
Yeah, it's hard. I have my moments when I look on Thingiverse, and I wanted a case for my Raspberry Pi, and there was just so much to choose from and different variations. I didn't end up printing anything because I just thought there's too much to choose from. I don't know what I want, so I left it.
Yeah. The trouble with it is as well, you've got some really good stuff out there. It's like I think it was Love Minis that she said about my. I had some electronics trays, and I found something better. But Love Minis wants an orc. I will find you an orc then. But it's not that the old electronics tray is no good. It's just that this new one is better, or it works better. Yeah, the trouble with 3D phone cases is that if you print them in PLA or ABS, they're too brittle. So if you do drop your phone, they're actually weaker than the phone. They'll still protect the phone, but they will break on impact. So what you really want is something like Ninja Flex, which is about 4 times the cost. So, or you can just do what I do, and I buy. I mean, look, see how scabby my case is, but the actual phone inside is well protected. So, oh, someone else has sent me a message. Oh, sorry, I just saw a message come up. Sorry, I do apologise. I don't like looking at my phone while I'm streaming. I think it's very, very rude. But right, yeah, Chris. If anybody, let me find it. .com. There's also a site called My Mini Factory, but My Mini Factory tends to have a lot of stuff where they want you to pay for it, and I'm not. There you go. If anybody has a look at that site, that is Thingiverse, and there's lots and lots of things on there, and it's a little search engine. This is something that I looked at. If you're an Aliens fan, you'll love this. My big drawback is I have a habit of going on to Thingiverse and searching the term life size. Which is
Oh
a
no,
bit,
I wouldn't.
yeah.
No, I wouldn't have that.
Would you not?
No, it looks too much like it's like a spider, isn't it? No, it freaked me out.
Yeah, yeah. But I say my fall down is I don't search a specific thing. I search the term life size. I've also got someone's asked me about a Darth Vader helmet
Why don't you print a life-size Horlicks?
because I can't find Horlicks on Thingiverse.
Yeah, what I could do is I could like use the Wii and get one of those Mii's set up, or on the Xbox, you get the avatars, didn't you? And it takes a picture of you. I'll get one of
Okay, well,
them set
you
up.
send me a picture. You get me the 3D file. I will print a Horlicks.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Would two of you be fun?
It would probably freak me out when I'm trying to stream.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And the great thing about that face hugger is that I can do it all in bone color, which I do enjoy doing bone colors. There is a program out there that it's on your Android and you take a picture. And we tried it out, but it wasn't really that good. I'm just checking on this long claw that's nearly finished. You guys are in luck because you're going to be able to see the first print on this long claw. What I've done is the great thing about when I did that long claw before, it's taken ages, but that was when I was doing a 0.2 layer height. I've now since discovered the 0.3 layer height, 0.3 mil, and then sanding it down. So the majority of it's being printed on 0.3, but the pommel is going to be done on point. The pommel, the end of the sword, is going to take 2 days to print. I have kind of. It's making more sense now. I'm receiving bits. And Sol is asking from Marty McFly. I've seen that. That does exist, doesn't it? What are you up to, Horlicks? We just caught you in the act.
No. No, sorry, I just had a message.
Okay, fair enough. Was that a nice message or a horrible message?
Oh no, yeah, it's right. Carl's out, so yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, no, fine. That's ominous, isn't it? Well, according to my slow computer, I've got 6 hours left on my print, even though it's right near the top. My little slow computer. Oh, I need to ask you something, guys. I need to I want to ask all of you. How would you guys feel if I wasn't able to do the Routemaster show on a Wednesday, and as a side question, if I wasn't able to do it the same day of the week every week due to work commitments? What I'm saying is, excuse me, if my if my work rota was to change, or my job title changed, or my complete job changed, and I got irregular days off, how would you feel about me doing it on a Wednesday 1 week, a Thursday the next, possibly a Friday the week after, or whatever? Would that make the show less enjoyable? Because that is, yeah, I know work comes first, but I mean, if necessary, I would go back to doing the pre-recorded shows like I used to do, and not have a live show. But for me, this live show is a really big part of my life now. Um, or if someone could build for me, if that makes sense. You're not chirping in much, Horlicks.
No, I'm thinking, what do you mean someone could build for you?
Well, if there is somebody else who's building the same week it comes out, then they could build their issue on my show. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't be here, but someone who's at the same stage as me could build. So you and someone else could host the show 1 week. I've confused you now, haven't I?
I get it, but then you've still got to do your issue anyway. So
Yeah, but I would do mine off air to catch up, and then the next week I would do whatever issue I'm on. So I'm going to show, as I was talking about support, I'm going to show you this.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, substitute for me. I mean, the advantage is I know my work pattern in advance. Right, I've just printed off the first part of this long claw. This part actually started to come off the bed, so I've got a little program called exclude, and I actually stopped this bit. But as you can see, this handle here, if there was no supports, that would be printing in midair, and that would just fall off. So we've got these supports in, and all we do, they just come off like that. But they do leave a bit of a mess on the bottom. Oh, what's happened?
Are
There we
they?
go.
Is that the tree supports, or is that just
No,
regular?
this is normal straight supports. But these haven't come out very well, but you can see that it's come out a little bit dodgy there. So that's going to need a lot of work. Whereas if I'd had tree supports on, it would perhaps just have 3 or 4 placements. But I'm happy with that. That's a good print, that, isn't it? It's got the
Yeah,
shiny bottom.
Chris Davies obviously said that he could if you were going to go down that route with the bills.
Yeah. And then what would happen is I'd need to give Chris. I've forgotten your name, Horlicks. What is your name, Horlicks? Horlicks. Horlicks would have to have the passwords for my show, for my channel. So he'd set everything up for me, and yeah, I mean that could work. But I mean that's if you'd want the show on the same day, always on the Wednesday. If you can wait a day or two, then fine, because generally, I mean, the one job I'm going for, I'm going to be working on a set rota, and I'll work like so many days on, so many off. But yeah, it's just that things could potentially change on in the horizon. That's I'm not going to say any more because I don't know what's going to happen. I like that. That's really nice. Yeah, this is if anyone watches Game of Thrones, this is Jon Snow's sword. There's about 7 sections that are going to come off there for the blade, which are going to be the next sections. This actually isn't called blade. This is called handle 2. But that's going to go in there. I do love this because of the dovetail joints. I did start printing this before, but it all kind of fell apart. It wasn't a good print, but that was back in the days when that was back in the days where I couldn't level the bed properly. Oh, I had so many problems, didn't I, Horlicks?
Mm.
But I just really wasn't very good with 3D printing at the time. I'm still not fantastic, but
Sorry, so yeah, sorry, I was going to respond. Yeah, that I will be able to do that for you, but the best thing to do is obviously I don't know what you're looking for, so if you go up on the chat, you'll see the Thingiverse. Have a look on there, and just send me a link to something you like, and then I'll have a look and see. Obviously, it won't be painted. I'll just have to send you it'll be just a single color, probably white or black. But yeah, just give me you've got my Facebook, so just send me a link to something you like, and I'll have a look and see if I can do it.
Johnson Hazel suggested on a Sunday. The problem with a Sunday for me is that I work in an industry where every day is the same. It's either a work day or it's not. It's not like you have set days off. So when you have, if you work, for example, if you work 3 days on, 2 days off, I used to work in one job where I used to get 3 nights on, 3 nights off. So what you would find is that each particular day of the week, you would work 3 consecutive, and then you'd have 3 consecutive off. So yeah, it's we'll see what happens. I mean, I am really, really happy with my circumstance at the moment. I have applied for a promotion at work, which I may or may not get. Um, One of the guys may be out of the running because he was accidentally naughty. So, but that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, it just, things might change. The trouble is when you make a 2.5 year commitment to something and you really don't know how your life is going to change. um you know it's like you, Horlicks. You might get a new job, you might get a promotion, you may you might get to move to a department where it's really important for you to work Wednesday evenings. It's just how things go.
Yeah.
We've got one guy who he loves the show, but he can't watch it live because he works nights. Well, something might happen and he ends up working days, for example, and then he can watch a show every week. So,
Yeah, no,
right,
it'll be what it'll be, wouldn't it?
yeah,
As you say, work and things come first. This is a hobby. I'm sure everyone will be fine. Just, as and
right.
when.
I have a question for you, Horlicks. If I right this print I've just done, it kept catching this and it's ripped it off the bed. The next print I've got is going to be 7 of these. Um, so I'm wondering if I brought the print bed up a little tiny bit, would that make it more sticky and less likely to do that?
If you bring the print bed close to the nozzle,
Yeah,
it'll probably make it fall off more
would it?
because then the nozzle will be bashing on the print.
Yeah, but the second layer will be in the right place, won't it?
I
If you've got
suppose.
if you've got a point 0.3 nozzle height, layer height, it will move point 0.3 wherever it is. It will move because this is where I've said if you've got a very slightly uneven bed, what will happen is the first layer will level it. Some parts will be really close to the bed and some will be far away. But that next level, yeah, if you imagine if the bed is like
Yeah.
that, it's going to be like that. But
You just want a glossier
second,
bottom.
no, I just don't want this to be knocked. I hate doing prints that are taller than they are wide. Um, because obviously the thinner it is, the higher the. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we I don't even know if anything's going to happen because it's been an awful long time with hearing anything. But we shall see. The best man or woman will win. Or the company might have decided they don't need anyone. But yeah, I do like a smooth bottom. Yes. Um, but yeah, no, it's just that I've got 7. I've just lost it. I've just put it down somewhere and lost it. This is my life. How can I put something down and I dropped it on the floor, didn't I? Anyway, I've got
On the
one
floor, it
one.
stays on the floor.
Oh, I don't know. It'll turn up tomorrow when I do my big clean up. There it is. So yeah, what's happened is I printed this. I mean, obviously I printed that as well, and this has had stability by having supports. So it's not held on there. It's been held on by this much. But this has got knocked off the bed where the nozzle's caught it. Well, if I've got 7 of these for the next print and it knocks them,
What
I'm going to
about?
lose the whole print.
I think I said before. What about trying the Z hop?
Yes, I forgot about that.
I mean, the only thing with that is sometimes it goes really lumpy, doesn't it? Where it has to
Yeah,
keep going up and down on it.
yeah. I mean, the other solution I had was to turn it on its side, but because of the shape of it, it's going to need supports there. So, the print's going to take. Sorry, Z hop. Right. You've got X and Y, which is your width and your depth. Your Z is your up and down. Um, So what it does is, let's say you're printing these. Once it prints this layer, right, instead of just moving across and printing this one, it'll actually, when it gets to the end of this one, it'll actually lift it up about a millimeter and then move across and then come down. It means that it doesn't drag. So if you've got a piece, if you've got like stringing, obviously that plastic is gonna cool down. It's gonna go hard. So it's like a little tow rope. So if it pulls that way and there's a string, it's going to pull that over. So what a Z hop will do is it kind of pulls the filament back into the nozzle, lifts up, and then moves across. Um,
But obviously,
but
there's a few issues with that because then you have to rely on the printer getting the filament out quick enough
yeah,
when it meets the next part of the print, or it leaving blobbles, or it doesn't always give the best results.
yeah, but there is a new experimental thing that's come out. What it does, it prints the outer layer last, does lifts the nozzle, moves it inside the print, brings the nozzle down, and then brings it across. So what it does is, if there's any oozing, it wipes it on the inside of the print instead of the outside. That makes sense?
Yeah,
Oh, Stuart Sullivan, you missed the best show we've ever had in our whole lives. Everyone is just loves it all. No, you haven't. You've
been
missed.
brilliant.
It has really been a good show, actually. Right. So what we have done today, we put this side of the wall on exactly as per the magazine. So we put the side on. I've recommended that you don't put the four screws in fully. That'll give you a bit more flexibility. The seats then went in. You need a little bit of effort, a little bit of patience, but you line them up with the lugs, then you screw them in. But we identified that once you've got this wall in, to do this wall, it's going to be difficult to get your screwdriver in and get in there screwing. So we actually took the seats off the floor, and instead of fixing the wall and then fix the seats, we put the seats onto the wall and then brought the wall in. I personally thought that was a little bit easier. Um, Others may disagree. If you're one of those ones that haven't put your seats on yet, think about attaching the seats to the wall. So what you'll actually end up doing, instead of doing stage 1, 2, and then 3, you'll actually do stage 1, 3, and then 2. And then you'll do stage 4, then 6, then 5. There's also been mention of an issue where something happens and you need what's that, Horlicks? Don't forget to do this; it'll make your life. Do you know? I've noticed you are quite good at remembering things like that, aren't you, Horlicks?
Yeah, I mean the problem is because of my lack of space. I know I'm going to be tempted to screw all the seats on, so I don't know how it's going to go. It depends if I can keep the seats, if I can, if I don't put the sorry, I'm not making any sense. Basically, if I have the seats here ready to put together onto the floor, that's what I'm going to want to do. But I could undo them again, obviously.
Yeah,
But as you said, like when you're screwing into plastic,
yeah.
it's
You're
not
if you
ideal to
screw,
really unscrew it again.
yeah. There you go. Look, there's someone else who has confidence in you. Um, you'll be all right.
But as I said, I mean, I could use the Routemasters screwdriver anyway. Um,
Yeah, that
I've
might
got.
work.
I mean, you kindly sent me one, but unfortunately, the one you sent me was a dud.
All right. Do you want
Um,
another one?
well, no, you've only got one more
I
left,
think,
didn't you?
I think I've got about 4. Yeah, but I don't.
Oh,
I've got my original ones. Plus, I got my Harley screwdriver, which won't be any good at actually.
well, my original screwdriver, the head was just naff from day
Oh, do you
one.
know what? My Harley Davidson screwdriver would work. These are really good actually. These Harley ones came with the Harley Davidson.
So yeah, I've got
Which,
the original one, and the head was just chewed from day one,
yeah,
really.
it,
And
it
then
is a bit naff, isn't it?
Penny kindly sent me a new one, and Sod's Law, the head is really good on this one, but the whole shaft moves in the handle, so when you can't tighten anything with it. Mind you, I could slap a load of super glue around the bottom, maybe. Never thought of that. Let me do it now.
Well, there you go. At least we get to use the super glue in this issue, then, don't we? Not where we thought we would, but
Right, I've just covered that in loads of super glue. You can see a mound of it on the top. And I'm just going to let that dry. Oh. Of course, it doesn't stand up.
you can ask us a favour, Chris. We don't bite. You can always ask, as long as you don't mind us saying no. I don't know what we've just agreed to there, Horlicks. Well, what I've just agreed for you.
And don't get the screwdriver stuck to your finger like I've just done.
No. I tell you what, I reckon I've had a tube's worth of super glue stuck to me now.
I don't mind it. Depends where it is, because I like biting it off my fingers later. I know it sounds disgusting, but there's just something really satisfying about when you get loads of super glue in your finger and you can just bite it off, and then yeah, it's weird.
As a kid, did you used to put copy decks on your fingers, wait for it to dry, and then peel it off so you got fingerprints?
Fingers. I used to rub my hands in it like hand soap in art.
Really?
Then sit there for the whole hour just peeling it off my hand. Yeah, something about it, isn't it? I just didn't like the smell. It smelled of rotten fish, didn't it?
Oh God, it was awful, wasn't it? Oh, do you know? Someone's just said about acetone, a nail polish remover can remove super glue. What works for me, if I get super glue on my hands, without touching anything, I run to the bathroom, I run the cold tap, and I run my hands under the tap, and then it seems to set the glue quicker, and then I just sit there and I have to pick it off.
Would that work for this isopropyl alcohol? Do you reckon?
That could
Take glue off. I mean, it's a litre of it. I suppose it's a bit like
you won't need a litre.
No, but I mean,
don't know. I suppose give it a try. Sorry, I've actually really love filing now because it's quite therapeutic, isn't it? I'm just trying to get this handle to fit in. Not that I mean it's an incomplete print. But yeah, always give things a try.
I could 3D print a handle for the screwdriver and smash this one off. Yeah, I could do, but then I'm not sure if it's how it's fixed, because a lot of screwdrivers, they've got like a little, they got like a bit of a, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
a knobbly bit.
Yeah, they've got like a knobbly bit, I thought, on the end of the shaft. So when you put the handle around it, it grips it. But I don't think this
usually the handle would be molded around the shaft. Is that the word?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, Chris will be giggling away.
Yeah, I know he will. Oh yeah, Chris Davis has just bought an Aurea screwdriver. He's bought the yellow one.
Brilliant.
That's nearly.
Oh, I do love the Aurea. So back to Soul. Yeah, I mean, honestly, because I don't know much about any of the files. Really, you just have a look, see if there's anything that takes your fancy, and then I'll have a look. Because obviously with Thingiverse, it's hundreds. You know, there must be something specific you prefer.
Yeah, it's also sizing and everything, isn't it?
And that
Oh,
I'm used to that.
I think Chris is trying to send us to bed now. Yeah, Chris, I will discuss with my friend Horlicks. Do you have a preferred colour, Chris? Maybe yellow to go with your new screwdriver?
There's a Mighty McFly bust.
Right, you incorporate the shaft into the print. Is that my loose change arrived? And I will be have fun losing it around the bus. What have you got? 1 to 12 scale money?
Stuart, yeah, I am a meal. I'm getting worse by the minute, to be honest. I didn't sound this bad at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, you are a little tiny bit worse. I didn't want to say. I'm doing a Game of Thrones long claw. Someone at work wants me to do one. So this is the first stage. Um, the next stage is to do 7 pieces of the blade. Yeah, I'm filing my shaft. So, but I've got this done on I'm going to do this on a reprint, but with supports. I'm going to try it out sideways, but the problem with that is, you see how that looks under there because of where the supports were. That's what that will look like on one side. But I've increased the outer walls on this from 3 to 4 because I've anticipated having to do lots of filing. You need a try. Do you know what I will do? I will make you that. I will. I'll tell you what. I'm going to make a confession now, love minis. I have a mystery surprise for you. So I will make you a tray. Do you want a nice simple one like this? I'll tell you what I'll do. I will make you. I'll make you a simple tray, and I will do it for my airbrush. So I'll have one section to fit the actual airbrush in, and then I'll have lots of little sections for all the little parts, and then a section for the needle, and I'll make it fit my airbrush, so that'll be roughly the same size, and I will send it to you, and I will send it to you with the surprise that I've got for you. I just something came up the other week, and I just looked at it and I went, what am I going to do with that? I know someone that will use it. That's all I'm going to say to you. So, any other business?
Filing her sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I've just missed a comment from Steve earlier on. He asked me if the
Right.
batteries were still in my R2D2. Yes, they are.
Yeah, because you did say you're going to take those out, didn't you?
Well, I still need to do a video on my YouTube, and I'm really bad. I haven't had the time to do it, but I was going to showcase it with the app, but I just haven't had a chance yet. But it is still in there, and he still works. I was playing with him earlier, wasn't I? And you were worried he was going to jolt off the shelf.
Yeah, yeah. Look, right. Let's have a look at Horlicks' screen. Right. You can see he's turned the R2 on, and we all know that when you turn it on, one of the first things it's going to do is jolt
Like
forward.
this.
And look at his left leg, where that like he's got a mug there.
Yeah, but I just held him.
No,
So
you scare me. Listen, guys. I know you all knew this was coming. But I just need to nip to the toilet, so I'm going to disappear for a moment.
Yeah, no, he's all right up there. Obviously, when he I'll just hold him because the shelf's quite slippery. So some people's aren't working now. What do you mean that they were working, but they've stopped working now, or they're just not working from the minute they tried to turn it on? R2 is arms open. He's got a little lightsaber that pops out the top. It's got a projector that plays two clips from Princess Leia and Luke, and he patrols the house and tries not to bump into things, but he seems to bump into things. But I hear that's if you've got quite a small space, which we do, the sensors get confused. I think it needs quite a large space for the sensors to work properly. So I've been told. And it's got voice activation, but that I can't get to work. I say hello and all that lot, and he nods his head at me, but he doesn't actually respond to anything I say. So
Sorry, I shouldn't have laughed then.
they were working,
Fleet
now they're not.
Jay has just sent me a picture of the coins, and I'm actually really jealous.
What does he do on patrol? He just literally just drives round and chirps and makes noises, and yeah, that's all. It's amazing.
Sorry, I just tried to show everyone a picture of the coins, but I can't get the focus in properly. But yeah, I was going to say something like that. Sound like a kid.
Yeah, it is. He's very naughty. When I was trying to program him up to the Wi-Fi, I did it the hard way because I wanted it to be with Wi-Fi, and it gives you like a QR code that you have to make him scan. He weren't scanning it, and then he was just nodding his head and driving off. No, he doesn't make a cup of tea.
Oh God, can I tell you all a rude joke?
Is it going to be one of your ones that I don't get?
Rude, probably. Right, so prostitute starts on the game and was told by her pimp, no sex for the first 7 days, only wanks. Right? So she says, well, why? So the pimp says, it's the union rules. You got to work a week in hand. Yeah. Okay.
Oh God.
That was so funny. That made you choke.
Oh God. Yeah, that was quite funny. I like that one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right. So, Stuart asked a question.
What is the
Right. What
brand?
make airbrush have I got? That is terrible, isn't it? Right. The airbrush, I've got two airbrushes. I've got an iWater, which is usually pretty good and reliable. And then I've got a cheap Chinesian one, cost me 15 quid, which is actually really, really good. I do seem to get blocked nozzles a lot, but I'm
Yeah,
told that's quite common
I've got a
with,
couple of block nozzles at the moment and all.
yeah, but you haven't got an airbrush, have you?
I feel it in my nose.
Okay, you're trying to be, yeah, all right, fair enough then. Sorry, I've got to show you this. Someone's just sent this picture to me on one of the groups I'm on. And
Oh, it's that.
the caption is waiting for the demisters to kick in on the buses. And that's what we all feel like on our buses in the morning. Oh God, my printer's making funny noises.
That's like our logo at work. Religion clothing. It's a skeleton.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just think that's really funny. Waiting for the demisters because I got really arsey at work last week. I know full well that the demisters take a long time. There's an awful lot of water in the buses. It's about 10 liters or something like that. So, and the buses don't heat up until that water gets warm. So it's quite common for you to have a cold bus for the first hour of the shift. And it's, you have a bus for 3, 4, 5 hours on a cold day and it doesn't heat up. It's a bit frustrating. And the last 3 shifts that I've worked, I've had 9 buses and I've had like 2 warm ones out of those 9, and I'm like, that's just really annoying. So, and then when I do get a warm bus, it might only be for like a 2 hour bit of work. And it's like, no, I want a warm bus for the 5 hour bit of work. Because I tell you what, driving a bus for 5 hours in cold is bloody hard work. So, but yeah, okay. So, any other business?
I was just going to answer Stuart Sullivan's asked me what the brown thing is in front of my DeLorean.
All right, yeah, let's have a look at that then.
It's just a dinosaur. The light up dinosaur.
Oh, bless. Looks like he's been eating fireflies.
And yeah, it's a bit bright. The car, it's from my work. Upstairs is a company called Disaster Designs, and it's come from there. So yeah, that's all it is. Just a light up dinosaur. I've just had to glue his leg back on because it was snapped. And then you can also run it straight from USB when the batteries die. Yeah, so that's all it is.
It's a bit dodgy positioning, isn't it? Because if you plug him into the mains, it'll make it look like he's pooing out a tapeworm.
Well, yeah, but it's on the side.
Okay.
But I suppose, yeah, it could do if it was up there.
I was trying to be amusing there, and you just blew me out there.
Oh dear. And then also I've got my little pot of gold I got with the rocks collection.
Oh yeah, issue 1.
I didn't even want it. I just saw the gold and thought, oh, it's lovely. I want that, and it was £1.99. So
To be honest with you, I think that wouldn't be long before that's worth more than £1.99, is it? Should have bought the whole shop worth of issues.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's it. I showed you my bus last week, didn't I? My free gift. Yeah, we did.
Yes, yeah, we saw that on stream.
And then my sneak preview is, well, it's up, it's live now, but I've got a front wheel arch on
Oh,
and some wiring.
I'm shuddering at stuff like that now because I went to see Chris the other day, and I'm not moaning. This is going to come out the wrong way, but I thought I was going to help him with 1 or 2 issues, and we did about 8 issues. And I think a fair expression now is that I'm a little bit all Routemastered out for a while. How people can binge build, I don't know. It was just way too much.
Do you know what? I was a bit like that. I think, I mean, I've never really done the first, the DeLorean is actually my second part work, which I've actually done. So obviously we're not even finished that yet. But what got me started was obviously that 3D printer from Eagle Moss, the one I had, the NAF one. And my mate Dean had one, and he gave me all of the parts. And said, get on with it. And I did actually. I did it within 3 days. Well, no, I did it within 2 days, I think. And I was just on it, ripping all the bags open, and I loved it. But the more I'm doing them, I think the more I'm appreciating that there's no rush to do them. And you know, they just get done when they get done. I mean, obviously I'm keeping up with YouTube, so I'm trying to get them out on time. Unlike today, where I thought it was up and it wasn't. But I did film it ages ago. It's all ready to go.
Yeah.
But
well, I shall look forward to watching it.
Yeah, I think it's up now.
I'm not in a panic to get to bed at a certain time now. I mean, I won't be going to bed really, really late, but you know, I'm not desperate to get to bed at a certain time. I'll be getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I want to, rather than because I have to.
Well, that's it. I mean, I've been getting up early this week. I've been getting up at 5 o'clock because I've been doing overtime at work. And it takes me about 40 minutes to get to work from here. So
yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
By the time I've driven, so I get up early. But Ironic thing is, I'm getting up early to do overtime so I can afford to get some repairs done on the car.
All right.
It's
So
ridiculous.
you're
Just so I
kind
can
of
get to work.
yeah. So you're going to work in a car that needs repairing, panicking, can you get to work?
Yeah, no, I need to get the MOT's due in April. I did have a bit of bad luck yesterday, and it failed on some CV boots failed underneath, and grease went everywhere, and
Right.
my CV joint started making noises. But luckily, he's managed to salvage it with a lot of grease, and he's sorted it. But I need a cam belt done on it. That's a year overdue. So
Right. Is
any
that the
day
one that's
now.
really dangerous if it goes?
Yeah, basically, if I turn the car on one morning and it snaps, then that's goodbye engine, goodbye car, and I can't
Oh,
afford
you
another
want to get
car.
that sorted out then.
But I need to try and get the money together first to get the car. It's not that expensive. It's about 300 quid, but 300 quid's a lot when you haven't got it. So
Yeah.
it's difficult. So yeah, I'm just doing some overtime just to help put something away, really, because it is a worry. Every morning I'm like, oh my god, is it going to snap? It's about a year out. It's about a year overdue. Overdue.
Just be careful.
I'm sure it'd be fine, but the car's done like 200,000 now, 200,500 and something miles,
Yeah.
and yeah, so it's done well. It's still good car, but it's just general servicing really.
Yeah.
CV joint is the bit. It's it's the on where the wheels are. Um, Obviously when they steer, on a car, obviously the front wheels steer. You've got the drive shafts that come out on front wheel drive cars anyway. You get the drive shafts that come out from the gearbox or the engine down to the wheels, and the CV joint is the movable bit that allows the wheels to spin and turn. If you see what I mean. And they've got rubber boots on them, and then they're sort of tied on, and then inside the rubber boots it's full of grease to keep it all lubricated. So when you get a split in them, all your grease comes out, and then you end up running dry, which is what obviously happened to me. And then it starts making a noise, and then you panic and get it in a garage ASAP so they can salvage it. Otherwise, you need a whole new CV joint or drive shaft or whatever. So that's my
Are
little
you
bit of nonsense.
experiencing an earthquake where you are?
I just whacked my knee on the desk and it quite
Okay.
hurt. I'm just trying to hide the fact it hurt.
You're just trying to hide the pain, are you?
Yeah, but no, they're easy to do. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's a lot of money for labour. I mean, I had to pay 120 quid for both CV boots to be done and fitted, obviously. But it's just one of them things. I had to just get it done ASAP. Fixed boot with a 3D pen. Yeah, I love minis. I don't think it'll quite work. I think as soon as you turn a bend, it's gonna just.
I think we've
I suppose you
exposed
could with
myself.
Ninja Flex. Ninja Flex, you might be able to.
Would that go through the 3D pen? But I think myself and Love Minis have just become 3D pen nutters. I love mine. I absolutely love it.
I haven't got one yet.
Well, back in a sec. I'm gonna go and get bit in my leg.
Sounds like a. Should.
Right, I'm going to show you something that you're not going to see for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Because I've come a cropper on my dome, I can't sand it because I've got nowhere to sand it. So I've kind of did a bit of a rush job and I've started on the leg. But this is what I've got. and I think you're going to like it. This is the top of the leg, and this is the top bit of the shoulder. This is the next part. There'll be much more to come down. I think I've shown you most of the leg last week. But you've got this part, which is the blue part there. If I show you on the R2, on the D'Agostini one, so you've got the blue part is there. But I've just finally finished what they call the horseshoe, and the horseshoe comes in 6 parts. So you've got these two. You've got like a thin bit, which is this, and then you've got the main bit sits on top. And these two I'm going to screw them and then glue them, and then take the screws out. But they're all magnetized. That's just what I think they're absolutely brilliant. Because you've got this channel that runs through the leg. I think the motor's going to come out of the body there, and it's going to you're going to have like either a chain or a rubber belt that runs down the middle of the leg. So you need these to come off so you can access them. So we've got these magnets that go in, which are brilliant. I think they're absolutely brilliant. But the reason I brought up 3D pen is, see if I can get this on. Why can that not go on? There we go. Right. This print actually warped, as you can see there. Now, all right, that's only about £1.50's worth of print in about 4 or 5 hours. But because that's going to go face down like that, for the sake of that one little warp, that's repaired quite easily by just putting in loads of 3D pen there. Just go squirt, 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 sand, 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 done. And that's why part of the reason why I love the 3D pen. I honestly believe that spending £20 on a 3D pen has saved me more than £20. That's upside down. No, it's not upside down. So, yeah. But I just, I've gone 3D pen crazy on everything. And I'm now starting to look around the house for jobs to do with a 3D pen. I bet Love Minis has already found some around the house.
Yeah. No, I must get one. I really do need to get one, but I just haven't got around to it yet.
Well, the thing is, it depends on what other priorities you have in your house, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, if you need your CV joints or food, that has a tendency to take a higher priority, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there's the top of my leg, and I'm really, really pleased with that.
I still can't believe how glossy it is.
You know what?
It's ridiculous.
I don't know how I. Oh,
it looks like something has actually been actual manufactured, you know?
Yeah.
I know it has actually been manufactured out of your 3D printer, but
I
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I've spent so much time leveling that bed. But I had hairspray on it. I didn't trust the glass on its own. I mean, everyone's saying to me, "Oh yeah, just use a glass bed," and it's just a mirror. Cost me £7 for 4 sheets of mirror, and I just tried it without hairspray once. I don't know why I had the courage to give it a go, but I just didn't. And I can't believe some of the prints that I do. It's like those. There's a mug you can get, and you cannot tip it over. Because the way it works, if you try to slide it sideways, it doesn't go. But if you lift it exactly 90 degrees, it just lifts off as though it's not even stuck.
Mm.
And it's pretty much how my 3D print bed seems to work. If you push the bed of print sideways, it sticks. But if you lift it up, it's just easy.
Oh, Daniel just said if my car's got high mileage, you just put a new drive shaft on. Yeah, I need to. I've had the CV boots done now, so it's all good for a little while. But the my drive shaft's rattling when it's idling from the gearbox side, so I'm hoping it is playing the drive shaft itself and not something in the gearbox, but it's done high mileage, so it could be anything. But I will get it changed. It's all right.
Oh, we frozen. Did you freeze or did I freeze?
No, we're all right.
Okay, that's right. You know, I worry about my computer.
Yeah.
It has a tendency to just go, I'm not playing anymore. Um,
Right then.
right.
Well, I need to go because I just need to go and curl up and die.
I need to put my coat into the wash. I don't know why I didn't do it at the beginning of the week, but I've got this high vis. You've probably seen my high vis jacket, and I don't. It takes a couple of days to dry. I daren't put it in the tumble dryer because it's thick and that. So I can only really give it a good wash when I've got more than one day off, or in the summertime when I go to work without my jacket on. So I really want to get that in the wash. If I get it in the wash tonight, I can stick it up to dry tomorrow. Yes, Chris, thank you so very much, Chris. I did see your comment. Absolutely no problems helping you either. It is actually quite a pleasure. Uh,
Thanks very much.
so,
Hopefully, I'll be on top form next week.
oh, I'm sure you will be, and hopefully you'll have a video for us to watch.
Yeah, it's up. It's live now.
I shall enjoy watching that tonight after the show. Right. Okay. So if there is no other business, I shall thank you all and see you all next week.
Yeah, see you all next week, and yeah, take care, everyone. So obviously, yeah, if you get a minute, message me with a link, and I'll have a look for you. Oh, we forgot. Sorry, one more. We need to have a big shout out to David. Um,
Oh, David,
for
I get David.
making the bases, and he emailed me today to say they're in the post, and we should get them
Yeah,
within 48 hours.
I can't believe that. I mean, sending small gifts and that. I mean, being sent the mug. That's a bit too much. But sending us a base is, oh my God, that's amazing. But I promise you, I will do the absolute best I can with that base, and I will try my absolute best to make my bus with the best diorama possible. I'm actually trying to get hold of some spare bits. Chris is going to give me some spare parts he's got, and I'm going to rust them all up, and I'm going to have a little pile of spare bus parts. So
Yeah, I've really been thinking about the base and
yeah,
like what I can use. Like I've seen some. I can't remember who it is. Who did the other
Jason,
diorama? Jason. Yeah, with all those. I'm gonna have to message him, I think, and I'll get
there's
tips
just
and
so
things.
much
'Cause
effort been put into that.
amazing, all the little cobble street and everything. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
So that'd be a good thing to do. But
yeah.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
brilliant. Okay, then. Right, so I'm going to hit
yeah.
the stop broadcast button in 5 seconds. Um, Everybody take care, and we will see you next week for issue 50, where it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be very similar to what we've done this week, so should be good fun. All right, take care then.
Yeah. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, everyone. Bye.